there's a guy named Elon Musk who might be a candidate for such an unraveling, right? You mentioned the person that speaks out could be a Donald Trump, but in this current situation that we live in, like as this week, Elon has purchased Twitter.
That's what I hear.
And is pushing for, in all kinds of ways, the increase of free speech on Twitter. And speaking about some of the issues that we've been speaking about here with you, but maybe in broader strokes, about just the fact that you have to, it's okay to point out that the emperor wears no clothes, and to do so from all sides in a way that everybody's a little bit pissed off, but not too much. What do you think about this whole effort of free speech in these public platforms? Elon in particular, Twitter, you're an avid Twitter user, but just public platforms for discourse, for us as a civilization to figure stuff out.
Yeah, well, the people on the left are very upset about the possibility that Elon Musk and Twitter will be more open to provocative public speech that has heretofore been banned or suppressed. And I think they might be right to be concerned that that could happen. I don't know enough about the technology and about the market to really, social media and whatnot, it seems like it's a complicated system of interactions between people and who the users are and so forth and so on. I do know that New York Post story about Hunter Biden's laptop was real news and could have affected the outcome of the election, and it was suppressed, and that Twitter had a role in suppressing it. I do know that the question of where the COVID-19 virus originated and the role that a lab leak account could have played in the public processing of that event was real news, and that it was suppressed by people who were trying to control misinformation, disinformation, Russian disinformation campaigns and whatnot. So Twitter has users. I'm one of them, and it has a lot of users. It's not as big as Facebook, I gather. It's not, but it's important. The ability to construct counter platforms where people moving around and whatnot. It's a kind of network dynamic that maybe I should understand it better than I do, being a social scientist. But
I don't think anyone understands it.
Yeah,
even people inside Twitter, which is fascinating. It's a monster because of just the bandwidth of messaging, and you don't know who is a bot and who is a human. That's a fascinating dynamic, and the whole and the viral nature of negativity.
Yeah,
that all of those dynamics, of course, you are probably the right person to understand it from a social scientist perspective, from an economics perspective, but nobody really understands. And it's fascinating within that domain. How do you allow for free speech, not allow for free speech, encourage free speech, defend free speech, and at the same time manage millions of ongoing conversations from just becoming insanely chaotic? Sort of from Twitter perspective, they want people to be happy, to grow, to actually have difficult, critical conversations. And they, the problem with humans is they think they know what that is, and they think they can label things as misinformation, as counterproductive for healthy conversations, in quotes. And the problem is, as we are learning, humans are not able to do that effectively. First of all, power corrupts. There's something delicious about having the power to label something as misinformation. You do that once for something that might be obviously misinformation, and then you start getting greedy. You start getting excited. It feels good. It feels good to label something as misinformation or disinformation that you just don't like. And over time, especially if there's a culture inside of a company that leans a certain political direction, or leans in all the groups that we talked about, leans a certain way, they'll start to label as misinformation things they just don't like. And there's that power is delicious and it corrupts. So you have to construct mechanisms like the founding fathers did for somehow preventing you from allowing that power to get too delicious. At least that's my perspective on what's going
Well,
on.
I'll just tell you personally, I'm excited about the prospect. I'm glad to see Musk making the move that he's making, and we'll see what happens at Twitter and so forth.
You're
Uh,
looking forward for the what did he say? Let's make Twitter more fun. I'm looking forward to the fun.